In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to solve equations using the addition property of equality. And this is our very first look at solving equations. So we're just going to start out doing a little adding and subtracting to solve. Nothing too complicated at first. And before you know it, you'll be solving really complicated equations without thinking a lot about it. But I want to warn you, you got to be really good at your sign rules before you start on this. It is imperative that you understand your sign rules very well, or this is just going to be an exercise in frustration for you. Alright, let's get started. First of all, this is not about being able to see the answer when you look at the equation. I do not want you trying to solve mentally or trying to work things backwards in your head. I want you to learn how to put the process down on paper. And there's a reason for that, and you just need to do it. So please try it my way before you just write me off and say, well, if that's hard, I can do it easier another way. It's very important for you to learn how to show this solving process, because sometimes that's just what you need to do to get the next step. This is about the process. So, by the way, solve means to find the value of x. So when it says solve the equation, we are actually figuring out what x equals now. And I want you to make sure you do it on paper, like I said, not in your head. Alright, so I'm going to start out with a really simple example. X plus 3 equals 8. Now I know that you are looking at this equation and you are saying, well, I know that x is 5. And I think that's great that you already know that. But like I said, it's about the process. So, even though you already know the answer, let's go ahead and learn how to make the process work. What you have to do, what you have to learn how to show, is whatever's being added here that you want to go away, you're going to put the opposite underneath it. So if I have plus 3, I'm going to put minus 3 underneath it. And you can think of an equation as like a seesaw or a balance scale that you have to keep balanced. And so whatever I take away from one side, I have to take away from the other side as well. So every time I write something on the left, I'll write the same exact thing on the right. And then I'm going to combine like terms. So only looking at the left side of the equation, x plus 3 minus 3 adds up to x. And on the other side, 8 minus 3 adds up to 5. So this is how we make the process show us the answer. Sometimes you know it by looking, but it won't be too long before they get complicated enough where you won't know by looking. So it's important for you to learn how to show the work. Make the problem tell you the answer. So again, to make a term disappear, add its opposite to both sides of the equal mark. So like I said, when you've got plus something, to make it go away, you put minus that same thing. Here is x minus 9 equals negative 5. Okay, the minus 9 is what I want to make disappear. So the opposite of minus 9 is plus 9. Let's put plus 9 on both sides. Now, add this up. X minus 9 plus 9 leaves you with x. And negative 5 plus 9 leaves you with 4. So x equals 4. One more. Y plus 8 equals negative 13. The plus 8 is what I want to make go away. So the opposite of plus 8 is minus 8. Put that on both sides. And then y, see, y plus 8 minus 8 leaves us with y. Negative 13 minus 8 leaves us with negative 21. Okay, before you start doing the same thing to both sides, I want you to make sure that the problem is completely simplified on both sides. Like you've got everything combined that you can before you start. In other words, just combining like terms. So, let's solve 5y plus 3 minus 4y minus 8 equals 6 plus 9. And look at the left side. See how many terms? And some of them can be combined. So for right now, I'm just going to pretend that this right side does not exist, and all I'm dealing with is the left side. I just want to make it as simple as possible. So 5y minus 4y gives us 1y, and 3 minus 8 gives us negative 5. Okay, now I'm ready for the right side. So put down your equal. 6 plus 9 is 15. See, the left is separate from the right. So as of right now, all I've done is simplify what's on the left and simplify what's on the right. And I really haven't tried to do anything about solving the equation. So far, all I've done is simplify. But now that it's simplified, it's actually not difficult to solve because the opposite of negative 5 is plus 5. Put plus 5 on both sides. Then y minus 5 plus 5 gives you y, and 15 plus 5 gives you 20. And let's try another one. And maybe you could copy this one down and try it on your paper by yourself before you watch the video. Okay, here we go. 8y plus 7 minus 7y minus 10 equals 6 plus 4. The left side has like terms that can be combined, and the right side has like terms that can be combined. So let's do that. Let's do on the left side, 8y minus 7y is 1y, and 7 minus 10 is negative 3, and on the right side, 6 plus 4 is 10. And now that it's simplified, it's much easier to solve. So the opposite of negative 3 is plus 3. Put that on both sides. And then on the left side, y minus 3 plus 3 leaves us with y. And 10 plus 3 leaves us with 13. Alright, this solving process also works on fractions just the same way. And, we know our fraction rules, and so the same rules apply in the same way here. We'll be using our equation solving skills and our fraction skills both at the same time. So here is negative 1/2 equals x minus 2/3. And so to solve this, I want the minus 2/3 to go away. We're always trying to get x to be by itself so that the problem will say x equals some number. So I want this minus 2/3 to go away. So let's add 2/3. Now, on the right side, x minus 2/3 plus 2/3 is just going to give me x. But on the right side, I need to work out negative 1/2 plus 2/3. So that's what I have over here. And this is a good old-fashioned fraction addition problem, and you know that fraction addition requires common denominators. So let's just remember how we add fractions. We know that 6 is the denominator for the common denominator for 2 and 3. So to change 2 into 6, I had to multiply by 3. So if I multiply the top by 3, that one becomes negative 3/6. On this one, to change the 3 into a 6, I had to multiply by 2. So if I multiply the top and the bottom both by 2, I get 4. Alright, now, negative 3 plus 4 gives you 1. So this is 1/6. So now I'm going to come back over here and say that 1/6 equals x. Okay, one more fraction problem. And we've got x minus 3/4 equals negative 1/2. So we're trying to get x to be by itself. So we've got to make the negative 3/4 disappear. So we will put down plus 3/4 on both sides. So on the left side, x minus 3/4 plus 3/4 will be x. And on the right side, this is what we have to do that I've got copied here. Okay, so look at the 2 and the 4. Common denominators. Common denominator will be 4. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 2 and get 4. And then I got to multiply the top by 2, and that'll be negative 2. Notice that because this one, the denominator didn't change, the top doesn't change either. And then negative 2/4 plus 3/4 is positive 1/4. So x equals positive 1/4. Now, in these next few examples, we're going to have variable terms that we want to make disappear. And variables can be added and subtracted to both sides just like any other terms. Because remember, a variable is a number, so it has to follow all the same rules that numbers follow. So let's solve 4x equals 7 plus 3x. Now remember, we're trying to get x by itself. So right now I've got 4x over here and a constant over here, but here's another x term. Now I would like to combine those two x terms, but this one is on one side of the equal mark and this is on the other. So in order to get them together, I've got to actually remove the plus 3x from this side. So how can I remove plus something? We always put minus something under it. So I'm going to put minus 3x here because I want this x term off the right side. That means I have to put minus 3x over here as well. Now I can combine. 4x minus 3x is 1x. And 7 plus 3x minus 3x gives us 7. So in this case, x equals 7. Now I'm going to solve. 7x equals 12 plus 6x. So again, I want this 6x to be off the right side. So the way I can get rid of plus 6x is with a minus 6x. But if I do that, I'll have to put a minus 6x over here. Now let's combine. 7x minus 6x is 1x, and 12 plus 6x minus 6x is 12. Now, if you have variables on both sides and constants on both sides, then the easiest thing to do usually is to eliminate the smaller variable term first. Now, don't just go haywire with this and just do this all the time. This eliminate the smaller variable term first is only for when we have variables on both sides and constants on both sides, like this. 3y minus 9 equals 2y plus 6. See, right now, neither side belongs to the y and neither side belongs to the constant. I have both kinds of terms on both sides of the equal mark. So in order to keep the signs as positive as possible, what I want to do is find the smaller variable term and make it disappear. So this is a positive 2y. The way to make it disappear is to put a minus 2y on that side and a minus 2y on the other side. So now when we combine our like terms, for the left, 3y minus 2y is 1y, and I've still got my minus 9. And on the right, 2y minus 2y cancels itself out. It adds up to 0. And all we have over here now is 6. And see, this gets you back to one of those easier problems. So y minus 9 equals 6 means we need to add 9 to both sides. And then y minus 9 plus 9 adds up to y. And 6 plus 9 adds up to 15. Now, we haven't said anything about checking yet, but we do know how to check equations. So the thing to do is, remember when on the lesson where we learned how to check an equation or how to determine if a number is a solution of an equation? What we used to do was take the solution that was given to us and replace the variable with that solution. So I know you remember that, and if you don't, you can go back and watch that video again. 3 times 15 now is 45. And on the right side, 2 times 15 is 30. Okay, now 45 minus 9 is 36. And on the right side, 30 plus 6 is 36. And see, this is what you're looking for when you check. You want both sides to equal the same number. Now that does not mean 36 is the answer. What it means is 15 is the right answer because we plugged in 15 and it made both sides the same. So y equals 15 is your solution to the equation. Alright, let's solve a couple more together. 3x minus 6 equals 2x plus 5. So notice that we have both kinds of terms on both sides of the equal mark. So the best strategy is to find the smaller x term and eliminate that first. So I want to get rid of this positive 2x, so I'm going to put a negative 2x under it. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Now combine your like terms on the left and combine your like terms on the right. So 3x minus 2x leaves us 1x, and minus 6 comes down. And then over here, 2x minus 2x adds up to 0, and then our plus 5 comes down. So now we've got x minus 6 equals 5. Let's add 6 to both sides. And then x minus 6 plus 6 gives us x, and 5 plus 6 gives us 11. Now let's check. So what I'm going to do is take my original equation, and where it used to say x, I will replace the x with an 11. So 3 times 11 minus 6 equals 2 times 11 plus 5. Let's see if that turns out to be true. Well, 3 times 11 is 33. And on the right side, 2 times 11 is 22. Now back to the left side, 33 minus 6 is 27. And 22 plus 5 is 27. And that tells us, because these two are the same, tells us that 11 is the right solution.